without speaking too much, let's get into the entire step-by-step process of creating our consistent characters for our child book. And there also I've got for you the proven formula in order to create the best one prompt out there. So we need to only follow, I would say, this one entire step-by-step process. Firstly, we've got the tiny cute character, so there you can provide a cute boy, adorable little girl, or the weather handsome man. So furthermore, there below, you've got some examples of the sentences that you can use and fulfill inside of these brackets, alright? There we've got wearing a free for clothing keywords, so you can type pink jacket, yellow pants, green shoes, for example black suit, grey pants or whether black hat, and so on and so on. So there just provide the clothing keywords because it's very important to our character, like have the same one, I would say the clothes in all of the scenes in the child book, because it doesn't make any sense when you will have, I would say, in each scene, like different, like the clothes for the character. Therefore, it will not be, I would say, as much consistent as it should be and very relevant to all of the scenes. So provide there, I would say, this one keyword. Then we've got the type and the color of the hair. So there again, go below and see for the examples, blonde long hair, like short dark hair, or whether the bald. So again, use what you would like. Afterwards, the soft pastel, minimalism, cartoon characters. So this sentence I found is very, I would say, the useful for this one case. And at the end, the standing in the environment. So there, when it comes to the environment, you can type, for example, standing in the forest, or whether standing, I would say, in the house, or just in the school. And basically, it should be relevant, I would say, to your entire, I would say, the outline that we created in the previous one lecture. So if you have, I would say, the mountains, like the nature or something like that, you can like type standing in the forest. If you have the outline, which is based on the school environment, just type standing in the school, alright? So basically do it by this way. And with that being said, we've got our entire, like the formula covered. You know exactly how to use it. Of course, in a while we'll cover it. However, now if you would like again, go over to the resources of this material, where I will attach this one, I would say, the file to download. So every time when you will create, I would say, your characters, you can go over, open it, and just based on this one, I would say, the informations, which will like guide you from start to finish on how to create the perfect one prompt out there. For creating our arts, we'll be using the Leonardo AI, which is extremely powerful AR generator. And there you've got some of the, I would say, the free credits. So there, go over again to the resources of this lecture, where I will attach the exact link to the Leonardo AI. So there, open it, and like there you will have, I would say, this entire interface. If you already have an account, go over to the right top corner and click on the Launch App, or whether if you don't have, click there on Create an Account. There you need to go over and click on the Sign Up button right there. And now choose one of these three options, or whether just provide the email and the password and click sign up. If you are there, you should see this entire interface. If you are not familiar with the Leonardo AI, I recommend you to check my other course about the Leonardo AI, where you will learn from start to finish how to use this amazing one tool. Because in this one, I would say the course will cover only the tools which are necessary to create the child books. However, there we've got a lot of different, I would say, the features. For example, the canvas editor, motion, we can generate the videos from the images. We can generate the images in the real time, alright, and so on and so on. So we've got a lot of different possibilities. So definitely feel free to check it out. However, now in order to start creating our characters, we need to go over to the left side of the page and click on the image generation. And there at the beginning, it can be a little bit overwhelming if you haven't used like the Leonardo before, because we've got a lot of different options. However, in this like the course, you will know all of the necessary options in order to create the characters, the scenes, and so on and so on. So there, firstly, what we can do, we can go over ahead to our proven formula in order to create the consistent characters and just copy and paste it inside of this like the prompt box. And now we need to fulfill this one informations. So we can type the tiny cute young boy, for example, wearing a, and now we can type something like blue pants, And now the yellow jacket. Maybe let's go ahead and provide like the, again, yellow, like the shoes. And for instance, that's everything. So we've got our 3 keywords, which are the clothing keywords. And now we can type, for example, in the type and color of the hair, short, dark hair. We've got the soft pastel minimalism cartoon characters, standing in the forest. So for now we have our prompt created. However, it's only the begin, because there we've got some of the options that we need to choose in order to create the best results. Firstly, what is very important, we've got the different models in order to create our arts. So for example, the model which is specified for the anime, I would say the style. The next one, which is for example great for the, I would say, photorealistic images. Another one which is great for the 3D, I would say the arts. And so on and so on. And now I will show you the 3, I would say the models, that I think are the best for the purpose of creating, I would say, the child book. I'm thinking about the Leonardo Diffusion XL, the Leonardo Anime XL, or whether the Leonardo Kino XL. So these 3 models I recommend you to choose in order to create your arts. In a while I will show you the results from these 3 models. However, now let's go ahead and cover other options. At the left side of the page, we've got something like the number of the images. So basically we can choose from 1 to the 8. And also sometimes you're not able to choose the amount, for example, the 5 to the 8, because it depends from the settings. So bear in mind this one fact. Afterwards, we've got the alchemy. So we need to enable it. Basically, it helps us to like create better quality images and just overall better. There we've got the dimension. And basically, we'll be interested in the dimension 3x4, so the vertical one, or just whether something very similar, for example 9x16. Also there you can increase the pixels in the width and the height. And afterwards, just pick the aspect ratio and then add here to the closest, I would say, the pixels. Also like considering this one, I would say the aspect ratio.